I honestly can't tell if this audio is in my headphones or in my speakers. Okay, anyway, hi, how's it going? Uh, yep, I'm, hanging out, doing a quick stream. I was watching this Turkey Tom Destiny interview, but I guess I could still watch it because it only plays in my headphones. You guys won't even hear it. What up? Sweet. I'm printing a little vent cover for the exhaust fan in my camper. Iteration number 3. Started off with this. I was like, yeah, that'll work. And then I printed it and I was like, nah, that ain't gonna work. So then I did this. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. And then I printed it and I was like, that's a little small. So a little bit bigger. Anyway, okay, so we're playing on my private server. Um it's Minecraft. Everybody's seen and played Minecraft, so that's all there is to it. Yeah, fairly tame Minecraft stream. Because this is what I've been playing for, I don't know, the past week or so. Mm. Um, um, oh, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. How do you, real quick, before, how do you share that you're live? Because I've streamed on a couple of other things here recently, and, there you go. Yeah, share that shit. Yeah. Okay. Back to... Okay. Anyway, yeah, okay. What is this? Yeah, this is dark. Yeah, mental health. What is this? Play. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like I should have like audio playing just so you guys could see or hear what I'm listening to, because it's like at the same time I'm like go watch the interview, you know. But okay. Um. Yeah. Let's. I'm just gonna move the audio or move the video over to my top monitor. That way you guys can. Oh. Oh. Excuse me. Okay. Chelsea. What's Chelsea? I don't know Chelsea. Mm, yeah. We don't do stuff like that. Okay. Here. Um. Oh, wait a minute now. I don't think it'll let me watch YouTube. Will it let me watch YouTube while I'm streaming YouTube?
Actually, at this point, maybe a couple people, but
Well,
I still go to jail.
Isn't it wrong?
Well, maybe, yeah, that too.
What do you
But
want?
I feel like if I were gonna kill somebody, they must have done something to make me really want to kill him, right?
Well, I guess the implication of being a serial killer is that you're doing it for no.
Yeah, I would never
reason.
kill people at random. That's deranged.
Super loud.
But I think that's the first
There we
response
go.
usually.
Oh, yeah, that would be deranged.
Thank you.
But if you ask me, would you like kill people? Well, like, there's a maybe.
Glock 17 is not gonna happen, all right?
Well, at the time, I think the only person you wanted to kill was the kid that was DDoSing you.
True.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, I was so, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. I didn't know anything about it. Dude, that was some of the most fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing it.
But I don't really blame you for that one.
Thank you.
Because that kind of sucked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but people still hate you for that.
Okay.
You don't care?
No.
Are you totally like just disaffected by how people don't?
I don't
like
think
you?
most people understand the position. I told you earlier when we were at dinner, what's the quickest way to become unenviable?
Your mom?
Good one. It's if you're out of touch and victimizing yourself.
Yeah.
Those make you impossible to relate to. So at the time, I might have been like the biggest streamer in the world when that was happening, because there was a period where StarCraft 2 was the most popular streaming game, and I was arguably the most popular StarCraft 2 streamer. So I was just de facto like the largest streamer.
Yeah.
So if I'm complaining about getting DDoS and stuff, while I'm like pretty successful streaming and everything, I just look like...
You were self-aware of that even back then?
No, back then I wasn't at all.
No.
No.
So you would complain about it a lot?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So back then, I mean, going back to, you know, your relationship, things are not really going well. When did you start taking streaming seriously as a thing that like I should hunker down and like do this, and this should be a thing I do?
I think it was when Rachel was still pregnant. Justin TV, I remember Emmett started emailing us saying that they were going to start paying out like ad revenue. And I got my very first paycheck from JTV. I think for like $200 or something. I have the email. It was in like, I think it was in December of 2010. And it was like $203.64. So when I saw the paycheck, I went back and then I added up what I made on PayPal. And then I looked at the hours that I spent streaming, and I'm like, pretty sure if I just stream for the same amount of hours that I do my carpet cleaning job, I'd make like about the same amount of money. Why the f would I do carpet cleaning when I just sit at home and do this? It's so much easier.
Did it take off immediately? Was this like a instant thing?
It's always been like a slow, gradual build. Like in the first year, I'd have to imagine maybe around like 100 to 150 viewers, maybe. In
one year, you were making enough to live off of that?
The ad revenue was really good on JTV and Twitch back then.
Is this like a pre-roll before the stream or like a banner
It was
ad?
something, I don't remember what it was, but it was something. You might have had a commercial button even, but
yeah.
I remember my second year I made almost 100K. So my first year was probably around like 30 or 40, 50K maybe, which was better than I was, because carpet cleaning I was making like 20K.
And you were still with Rachel at this point in time?
Kind of. Our relationship was really weird. We rotated around between me living, I think initially I lived at the house, and then she lived with her mom, who was about an hour away. And then when Nathan was born, her being at the house with her mom and Nathan was kind of shitty, and dad and everybody else, so they came back to the house, and I started living in like apartments around Omaha. But that got really weird, because I remember I lived with one lady and her kind of boyfriend or something, and I was like living, it was like a, are they townhomes? There was like an upstairs, and I lived in the apartment up there, and I slept on like this like cot thing on the floor. And I remember one time I was streaming, and like, I think I was shouting, I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker," and this woman came upstairs and she was like, "How dare you use that language when my daughter's in the house?" It was just like really fucking awkward.
This is on stream?
I don't know, no, I don't think that was ever on stream, or it might have been, but those videos don't exist anymore. Because this would have been back in like 2011 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hopped around a couple apartments in the area, and it was like so awkward and weird, and yeah, I don't know.
You could have just gotten your own with the money you were making?
I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I feel like I didn't make enough money for that.
Maybe you were just planning for the future of it not working.
Oh no, because I was still paying for the house. So I don't think I had, I don't think I felt like-
a mortgage at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think I felt like I had the money, because Rachel couldn't work while she was pregnant, and she didn't have money for the full house, and I didn't want my kid's mom to be homeless. So I don't think I had enough money for the house and for a whole apartment on my own, so I would just try to live with people. I remember what I did. I ended up living with my ex-wife, I think 6 to 12 months.
There you go.
She was cool,
No,
right?
I can see.
I guess, yeah.
Your relationship wasn't like
Yeah.
rekindling or whatever? You were just...
No, not at all.
You were just doing your own thing?
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
Huh. It usually doesn't work that way.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Your second year, you make 100K.
Something, yeah.
70,
I got
like-
destroyed with the tax bill on the next
Yeah, didn't
year,
you
but
say, oh fuck, there's some video of you talking about how like you made the money in a year and then you spent like $80,000 of it or something. And you're like, wait, where the f did all my money go?
Yeah, because when you're, this is going to be really out of touch statements, but when you go from broke to making 100K seems like $10 million. It's like $100,000. But 100,000 in a year you can blow through really fast.
What did you spend that money on? Just like
I don't know, traveling and food, and just you can blow through 100K really fast if you're like eating out all the time and everything. Once you're making like, I don't know, once you're making like 250 to 500K, it's pretty hard to get rid of that money. And then once you're like making $1 million a year, you can just like spend tons of money on everything. Or for me at least, I don't run out of money because I don't buy anything besides traveling. But like
Yeah.
100K is like you can set that money on fire instantly,
Then
just
you're
like with
good.
a few plane tickets and then eating out all the time and then whatever.
Did the money keep
Yeah.
going up from there, like gradually scaling, like 40?
Yeah, I kind of
100?
did. It was just I was always in a weird spot because I was trying to pay for my kid and my kid's mom.
How were you splitting up like your personal versus like work life? Like were you?
I don't think I had
streaming?
any personal life at all. I was just streaming constantly because I was a professional gamer. So I was like playing StarCraft like it would have been at least like 10 to 12 hours a day. Yeah.
Were you going to like take care of your kid and then coming back? Or were you just like the stream god?
I think it like varied based on how me and Rachel were at the time. I don't know if these streams still exist anymore, but I know that like when kids are first born, so like you can take a baby and you put them down on a thing and you can like burrito them. So I think there are early streams of me because for early babies, if they're not like if they're good babies, Nathan was a really good baby. Just like every 4 hours, they wake up and they're crying, and usually you change them, feed them, burp them, and then you lay them down again, like super regular. Nathan was like that, so I could just like burrito him in a blanket and then kind of like stick him on my shoulder up here, and I could just like play, and I could do that for a while. And when me and Rachel weren't fighting, I did that for a while, and that worked. But I think I was like in and out of the house based on how our relationship was at the time.
So you were on and off then.
We were always on and off, but we were also on and off in terms of like, can we live with each other without killing each other?
Was it a thing where like you were like together and you split up and see other people and then come back, or was it just like
No, it was just chaotic, hectic. There was no organization
it
or
was just
plan.
the one-itis?
Something like that. I don't know.
Did you like really love
What-
her at the time? Want it to work out?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Probably.
I mean, as much as no offense, but as much as a 21-year-old can love.
You think it's your understanding of love has changed since then?
Probably, yeah. I was pretty naive at that point, yeah. But I mean, like, we had a child together, and like, I loved her as much as anybody can. Like, we had fun together. We synergized really well. We had good chemistry, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after
Well,
I guess
unfortunately,
while this is going
looks
on,
like I'm gonna have to
streaming's taking
return
off a little
all
bit,
the
but at
way
the time, you
to my
weren't a
first
politics guy
settlement
at all, which
so that I can
everyone
get
knows you
some
for
more
now. You were.
I mean, I've always had strong political opinions, and I like argued with people all the time, like growing up.
But
I wasn't
primarily
doing
you
that
were
like
a
on stream.
gamer.
Yeah.
Gamer was the guy you were, and
Yeah.
you did talk about your political
Was
opinions on
good.
stream,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like I'm the argument debate guy. At the time, it was like I'm the StarCraft 2 guy.
Yeah.
Okay, but at a certain point, StarCraft starts falling off a little bit, and you had this conversation with, I don't know their names. I want to say one of them is like DJ or something, but it's you and a few other guys having a conversation about StarCraft, and they're debating you,
Okay.
and you're basically telling them about how StarCraft is going to fall off, and you're getting the fuck out.
We can actually
If we
do.
can't hope
You're
for
the
Blizzard
one
to
who
do
is
anything,
saying
then
that
it's
they
time to
can
just
actually.
switch fucking games because the audience of this game
Well, then
will
go
only
switch
continue
games.
to dwindle.
Stop being a part of this community. Then you should go play LOL.
Yeah,
I think I just realized actually what we're gonna do. This is the plan, okay? We continue to do nothing and wait, and eventually all of the Korean players are going to be switching over to LoL because Korea's huge on that shit now. And then once they switch over, people like Idra and In Control can go back to winning tournaments. I think that's the plan right now. I love you guys very much. Peace out.
And all of them were like, "You're retarded. You're gonna fall out. Your career is gonna die." And my understanding is that within a few years, those guys were like not really heard of anymore.
Yeah, I think I kind of saw where things were going. I don't know why I've always had a good eye for like internet content or trends or whatever, and I could kind of tell that like StarCraft was about to fall off, and that was kind of unfathomable at the time because StarCraft was like the top dog for
Was
so
it
long.
still really popular at the time?
It was, yeah, it was doing really well, yeah. But it was really obvious that like League of Legends was going to start to come up and take over. And that was just a lot of people couldn't see that for some reason. And then I got into an argument with some people over it, and they all kind of made fun of me for it. And I was like, okay, whatever.
server
So you
world
quit
is,
StarCraft, you do other games, but there after
What's it
StarCraft
called?
there was never like
Enhanced?
a game that was like your.
No, I tried to find them. Like I played a lot
put
of
the
League of
setting in
Legends,
so that
but I don't think I could
everything's
ever go pro on
pretty
that.
crazy, so.
I tried Overwatch for a while, but I only did that for like a few months. I don't think I could.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
like
Were you good at video games?
super
I was
tall
a semi-pro gamer. We
mountains
weren't that good at
and,
video games.
like,
You're never
But you
weird
weren't good enough to like be
landscape,
pro
and it's kinda
forever.
crazy.
You weren't, right?
I mean, I was like, that's why I say I was semi-pro. There was, at my best, I could maybe take
So
a
I'm
game off of
basically
anybody in
building
the world.
shelters in the top.
Destiny, thanks very much for joining us,
everything
and
massive.
congratulations on IPL Season 2 qualification.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And with more time spent playing the game, I gradually got better and better, and I think I'm getting close to where I can compete at a really high level.
But like, I don't think I would have won a series against most people.
No.
It wouldn't surprise me like lifetime winnings in StarCraft 2 were, my guess would be probably less than $5,000. It wasn't much, but I'd always focused on the streaming end of things more than just the practice end of things. So like my main money was always through streaming. So even though my tournament winnings weren't good, I like prioritized my streaming over like my pro gaming practice.
On stream, were you mostly talking about video games, or was it like personality, lifestyle, current events stuff?
It was always a combination of stuff. Like, it was video games, but all the other stuff was always mixed in. That's, I think, what got people endeared to me, rather than just like a StarCraft player. It was like more
Oh yeah,
me, the person.
Back then, were you doing
I
like
didn't
variety
finish going
content,
that
or
way. I
was
wanna
it
put a
like
house
were you
up
like
there.
reacting to things and like
I need to
reading
come back
things,
and
or
do
was it
that.
mostly
I
just
don't
like
know why
you
I'm all the way
game
over
I think it was
there.
just gaming,
I am
non-stop
like
gaming.
under
Yeah.
the world.
When did that
that
change?
direction,
Man, I
so-
don't know, maybe around 2016, I think.
Before 2016? You were gaming pretty much.
I think mainly. I'm sure people were like watching YouTube videos and stuff a little bit prior to that, but
Why was that election important to you? Why did that change everything?
I just thought the conversation was so bad, and I was like, oh, like maybe I can contribute a little bit. Maybe
Why
we
was
can.
it bad?
Just people like not talking factually about literally anything. It was wild. Like people just saying like the most crazy, random, wild statements about economics or finance without knowing anything about like taxes or economies, or people saying weird like things that just seemed like really dumb. I was like,
Were
oh,
conservatives doing that?
I think everybody was, but especially everything like surrounding Trump was like really dumb.
Yeah. It's
Did your
a lot.
viewership fall off because people came there for
I'm almost
video
there.
games?
I'd already emerged more as like a
Literally
personality
like
than
that.
just like a video game person, because I lost a lot of people that followed me just for StarCraft when I played League, and then from League I was like kind of starting to talk about and do other things. So yeah.
Did your viewership decrease like with each one of these? You take like a little hit.
From StarCraft to League, I took a big hit, but then from League onwards, I just kind of like,
Do you remember like how many you were getting live on StarCraft versus League?
I want to say from StarCraft maybe 5 to 8K, maybe, and then I think League was anywhere from like 1.5 to 3K.
Ooh, or was the money like less too?
Yeah,
You were somehow still confident you were making the right choice even despite that.
yeah, because StarCraft was definitely gonna die, and I don't want to be like hitched to that too much.
Did you have a ton of self-doubt about that?
No, I was pretty confident.
No
I thought
judgment
my
on the
analysis was
cow
good.
farm.
Yeah, it was.
There was.
I'm trying to
But at
do
the
other
time,
things,
you didn't know.
and I only play
it was-
survival.
I think
so-
my,
I need
it was like there was
food.
you can probably go back and find it. Like I'm pretty sure there's a big post I made on the StarCraft subreddit.
This is like a lesson that you learn in history. Like, it's common sense. Like, look at the Betamax versus VHS. Like, Betamax was a superior format in every single way, but VHS, was the one that was more aggressive with their marketing. And what did we end up with?
But it was like all the reasons why I looked at how League Riot was like supporting their game like so much, and Blizzard didn't seem to support theirs that much. And there was a big elitist attitude throughout all the Blizzard development staff and like all of the esports guys and all of the players and personalities about this is the best game because it's the most competitive and that's what people like. And these shitter like Dota and League aren't going to take off because like they're
These
too
guys
casual
have
and
not
blah, blah,
grown
blah.
back in
And
like a long
I think in
time.
my
I've
opinion, I
been
thought
back
that like
to
the bigger player
in
base,
like
the more
7
people
or
watch
8
your
days
esports,
in
like,
game.
and these people support the competitive games in their communities, like, and they're on an upward trend. Like, why would we not expect that to like overtake StarCraft and then StarCraft
Yeah.
like dive off?
And then 2016, you switched to politics, and people are more or less comfortable with your constantly varying, stuff by then. You've been full-time streaming for
I started full-time streaming at the end of 2010.
that. Holy sh! You were like the first fucking guy. I didn't realize it really went back that far.
I think I was the first person to quit and do it like as a job full-time. Like there were definitely people that streamed before me, but like did it as a job full-time. I think I'm the first one.
Who was big back then? Who was like really killing it?
And those times it would have been like people like Day9 was a guy.
Never heard of him.
I think Asmon and Soda Poppin streamed on Livefire? Xfire?
I never heard of this.
Some website like that.
2010. Oh my god. So you switched to
What's his
politics.
name was
Why
really
does that
good?
work out so well for you? Because you hadn't done political debate discussion really before. You weren't like a pundit.
Not online, but like my whole life I kind of had been. Like I grew up like super debatey in high school because everybody there was like really left-leaning, and I was like super Republican because of my parents. Like I'd written like articles defending like George W. Bush and the Iraq War, and I like listened to Michael Savage and Glenn Beck.
What was the
and
guy
Rush
you
Limbaugh.
liked? Was it Ron Paul?
In 2008 for college, yeah.
All right, so March 13th, 2017, you're on Twitter, you're talking shit, JonTron's talking shit, he's talking about politics, and you end up getting in a call with him on your stream.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I mean, I guess pretty well for me, kind of catastrophically for him, but I didn't ever intend for it to be like a big debate. I didn't think he was like that far gone. I'd only heard him have a conversation with Sargon of Akkad like twice, and I thought he was just kind of like getting into these topics. I didn't know he had so many strong opinions about them. So.
When you say far gone, you mean like right wing?
Yeah, or whatever 4chan was at the time. Like they weren't like the traditional conservatives of like, oh, we want to like have small government and like reduce taxes and all that. It was like completely on social issues, like immigration, like demographics, and.
But despite, I mean, you obviously feel like you probably were in the right in that conversation. He was in the wrong, broadly speaking.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Obviously.
But the public perception was not that.
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh, you were in different communities.
Probably. And my public perception of that was like, at the time especially, was like, this guy's coming after JonTron.
It was definitely a 50-50 split. There were like a ton of people that saw me as like this kind of like leftist savior type guy that exposed JonTron for being like a secret racist. And everybody in those communities viewed me as like this Jewish mind controller that turned JonTron racist for the conversation and like manipulated him to say
I think beyond that, a lot of it was just like people who are fans of JonTron or friends of him
Yeah, that would probably say
would,
that too.
would
yeah.
just, I mean, defend it.
Yeah,
You know, talk about politics ever again.
yeah,
Probably for the best.
maybe, yeah.
Shout out, John. But you've developed this audience that's primarily left-wing. You developed this subset that's like socialist, like very far left.
Yeah, I would say I cut my teeth like debating conservatives. Like I was kind of like the only lefty guy who would be like a hardcore debater because I was like a conservative trope. And because I was the only person who did that for a long time, that was my reputation. I got a lot of left-leaning followers, and a lot of those people were like very far left, which I always thought was kind of a joke. I didn't think that was actually true. But around 2019-ish, when these other people started streaming and becoming members of my community, Hassan and Bosch, I started to realize that people in my community were like way further left than I had realized.
And I thought it was all memes and jokes and stuff, but now I'm not sure. Like Hassan goes like on these full-on rants on his stream about how like, oh, the U.S. is worse than the USSR and shit. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, homie. Like I don't know if I would like unironically say this, but then like you said, like all of a sudden I start to realize like, wait, I think it feels like there are more tankies here than I actually thought.
Yeah.
Did you have any like audience watershed moments prior to that and after like StarCraft/politics stuff, like between 2017 and like 19? Did you have any moments in there that were like you had to like get rid of a little portion of the audience?
I think from 2014 to 2016, there are a lot of arguments that I use when it comes to engagement with content that I genuinely believe that I didn't realize were bullshit positions for a lot of other people. Here's like a thing I would say. I don't understand why representation is important because I can watch any movie or be in any crowd of people and I don't care if they look like me or act like me. Like I could watch a movie with like a trans lead or a female lead or a black lead or be like in a room full of like Asian people I had for a long time for StarCraft. A lot of them don't speak my language. Like none of it bothered me. I thought it was cool. I was like totally fine with that. So I don't know why they make such a big deal about representation in their media. That was an argument that I used for a long time. And a lot of people in my audience and on the internet would like vibe with that. Like they'd hear me say things like Destiny epically owns these like feminist losers that ask for like representation, blah, 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 blah. But then I noticed that like there were a few games that were starting to come out. One I think was like a FIFA game or something where the main character is either like black or Hispanic or something. Or I don't know. I don't even know if FIFA has a campaign mode. It was something like that. And the amount of comments from white people were like overwhelmingly negative about how they were upset that like, oh, like I don't know if I can relate to this character or blah, blah, blah. And these moments happened a few times. And then I started to realize like, wait a second, I thought we didn't care about shit like this. Why do you guys care? And then I'd realize like, I'm like a useful idiot for these people on like the right socially because I was making all these arguments about how I didn't care about this thing. And I don't think I genuinely do. I think everybody else really does. But as long as the culture is currently favoring them, they'll use those arguments. Yeah.
This is from 2014 to 2016. Were you having like, I guess I don't even know if Discord was like a thing back then. Discord was like 2016 to...
Discord, like the chat program?
Yes.
No, I don't think that existed.
So you were like calling people on Skype or whatever else, TeamSpeak, I guess.
Skype, TeamSpeak, and Mumble were the things we used, yeah.
Were you debating random people from chat at that point in time too?
I must have, yeah, because Irish Laddie, Vosh.
Alright, I'm gonna talk to this guy.
Hey, Steven.
What's up?
By the way, honest question. Do you prefer to be called Steven or Destiny?
Probably Steven. Destiny seems really weird.
SRS is mean. We insult people. You know, we judge them callously, in fact. We believe in what we say, mind you, but we aren't expected to be, we don't expect to be treated.
Or anything like that, yeah.
As for the actual things that SRS says, I agree with the vast majority of them.
Yeah, it was all the way back in 2011 hopping on and stuff, so yeah. It must have been. Skype, I think, yeah.
Speaking of Vosh and just people who come on your stream, you mentioned Hassan. Your community has been very active ever since, I mean, like the beginning of your streaming stuff. And around the time that you got to like you said, 2016, you have Vosh, Irish Laddie, I think at the time he's doing stuff. You have Hassan, he's doing stuff.
We're gonna go
and you start to see like little offshoots from your community blow up and do their own little thing. They carve out their own little piece of that pie. How did you feel at the time about watching like people who essentially like were fans of yours and were birthed from your whole shit go on to become their own kind of
I mean, for a while it was cool because I'd always been like very much like I wasn't part of a big community or a big clique or anything like that. I kind of like focused on my community and growing that and making them active, and then pulling people from my community for chatting and everything. So seeing people from my community go on and become like bigger streamers, I thought was like kind of cool.
And then you had like collab partners.
Kind of, yeah. People that I could debate and people I could argue with and everything, yeah.
That wasn't a personal attack. Aren't you proud to be LGBT?
What are you talking about, dude? Are you serious?
Are you LGBT or not?
We've got a question.
But for Vash and Hassan, the weird thing came when I realized that, like, wait, these guys are like really far left, and I've got actually a bunch of my audience is really far left, and I had to like put my foot down and make it clear, like, I'm a liberal, I'm a capitalist, I'm not a socialist, I'm not a communist.
To be clear as that, Irish Laddie has basically said he would give me the bullet in his real world. So while he's here whining about me dialoguing treating him, we're coming into this with him basically saying he would kill me under his political system.
And I feel like I bled like a third to half of my audience within like a month or something, going to Wash and Hassan and like kind of becoming their fans, because I like was absolutely not on board with the super far left stuff. Yeah.
I've seen like one of the earliest combos you had with Irish Laddie, Bosch, when you were playing Minecraft. In that, from when he's talking about SRS, I thought it was abundantly clear how far left he was.
Yeah, he was, but I didn't know my fans were. That was the thing I didn't know, because I was never that far left.
So did you think he was just like a character you brought on stream that people?
No, it was like he was a fun person to debate and argue with and stuff. But when I was arguing with him and everything, and then like the thing that would happen is I would have arguments with these people sometimes. I remember there was a post that went up on my subreddit one time. The overwhelming like idea from the post, like Destiny's basically a socialist, like an all but name, like he just doesn't realize that he had or whatever. Like that was the feeling that people had sometimes when I would fight with people, like Vosh or Hassan. And yeah, that was definitely not the case. And then once I started to make that more clear, the divisions became way more abundant.
Yeah, and I guess the other question is when you have these watershed moments, like when these guys leave your community, your viewers go elsewhere. Is that not like scariest for you? Do you not worry like?
I don't know many YouTubers that do this, but for a streamer, I think it's really important to have an up and down so that you can see you can survive it. And my big up and down was from StarCraft to League. That was scary for me because I thought it might be over. But if I could survive going from StarCraft to League, I could survive any, wave and fall or crest and peak or whatever at that point. Yeah.
How many viewers did you lose to that?
I don't know, probably, if I had to guess, it was probably a couple thousand concurrent viewers, would be my guess.
But Vosh and Hassan have never been like buddies, right?
No.
Why? They kind of seem like a perfect fit for each other.
Oh, that's a good question. I should ask my stream next time you're on.
They kind of seem like they should be friends. Although maybe Hassan doesn't like Vosh because Vosh is edgy. How do you feel about Vosh as a person? How do you feel about him?
He's a bad person.
Why?
I think because he knowingly engages in lies and deceptive behavior. That shit drives me insane. And he's smart enough not to. He's a little bit more tactical in it, and that makes me think they're a worse person, yeah.
But just
as long as it leads people in a good direction, I think it's generally pretty defensible.
I think there needs to be some adherence or conformity to the truth. I don't think it can just. I don't think you can just lie and move people in the right direction, and that makes it okay.
What about if we were to get rid of all content which has any misleading elements for the advocacy of liberal or left-leaning politics? I think that would destroy almost everything. I actually didn't watch his debate with Lance the other day. Did you know? This is, by the way, I'm totally poisoning the well here.
Sometimes, if intellectual honesty is the cost of a successful improvement of the state of humanity, then sometimes that just has to be made.
On an ideological level, you're no different than a lot of the crazy groups that you yourself disagree with.
Do you think he's as smart as you? Do you think you can see eye to eye on issues and like you can have like complex conversations about these issues and he could...
I mean, it's hard to rank intelligence, but he's a very smart person. Like, if we both spent the same amount of time studying an issue, like, it would always be a challenging conversation for me. Like, he would never be a pushover on anything. Absolutely not.
You say that, but when I've seen you guys have conversations, like on the Rittenhouse thing, it seems like he had a very hard time.
Yeah, but I don't think that was because of his intelligence. I think it's because of his partisanship. I think he was getting partisanly sucked into a certain narrative.
Is he aware of that?
I think he is.
Is that his choice?
I think so. I think he's smart enough to know it. That's why I hate him more than I hate Hassan. I think Hassan is not as smart as Vosh. Yeah.
Is Vosh like grifting then? That is sort of a grifty thing, no?
I think it's a little grifty, yeah. I think he's smarter than that. But he's not like fully grifting. I think he like decently believes in most of what he says, but I think he also is like really intentional in what he
I don't think Vosh really believes much of what he says.
That's a big question.
You guys were buddies.
Kind of, yeah.
You guys got along.
But
acquaintances slash friends, yeah.
I'm not a vegan, but pescatarian technically.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, you didn't.
Liar. Okay. I guess I'm being muffled. I can't wait till I have decent internet, I swear to God. Ugh. Okay, what I was saying now, since we're all listening, you guys can hear this, right?
Didn't know that? No, I don't.
Yes, okay. Bosh, I think it's mostly a virtue signal. I don't think Vosh actually believes a lot of the stuff that he says. Not that he's lying. How would you... If he saw a gay, trans, lesbian person being assaulted, he wouldn't do anything. I don't think. I think he'd be like, whatever. Like, that's what I get from him as a person. Now, I may be wrong about that, because apparently he's a boxer, so maybe he would be like, yeah, let's fight. Like, I'll stick up for this person. Maybe physically, okay, I think maybe physically he would, like, fight the person, but I don't know, well, I don't know. I don't know where I get this conviction from either. Like, I don't watch Bosch anymore. It's been a long time since I watched Bosch. Anyway, I don't know where all that came from. Oh, I didn't really say any of that. Like, in a way that made any sense. I don't think Vosh believes in any of the things that he talks about in the way that you would stand up to defend it if he wasn't in front of a camera. No, it's mostly virtue signal. That's what I mean. Right? And obviously, like I said, I don't know him personally. That's just the feeling that I have. Not that it's a bad thing. Like, I'm very much the same. I'll stand up for things when it's easy. I'm not gonna... If I'm out, at a bar, I'm not gonna fall off and punch somebody because they disagree with me on whatever. Not that physical violence is the only way to support something. Just yes. How far up are we gonna go? Do we really want to double this all the way up? If I stay out here on the edge, good. No problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Gosh, I like chew these TikToks. Jeez. I have to set up. Oh wait, am I going up? Yeah. Continue the climb. No. She goes. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Why would I know your dietary habits?
What the f? I get like a salad or something.
Oh,
I'm just f***ing with you, dude. I eat normal shit. I'm sorry.
The power of these muscles. Can I touch you? Yeah, the power of these muscles. Andy, do you fucking understand? You got a power.
This is like, this is memes for fucking years.
I mean, you hung out a few times in person or whatever.
Played with his dog.
You were boy. You played with his dog. His dog died, and then you put him
I think that
on
was
the
an
fucking
accident.
thing.
I'm just kidding. Cut that.
Yeah, that's gonna be the opening. Cut that. Nothing's gonna cut. So you guys were friends. I mean, the same applies with Bosch. And then you have a few big conversations. I think one of them was around the Trihex N-word thing.
Me and
I think
Hassan had already had big schisms before that, I think. Or
well, that was a
fight.
big one. And the one before that, there was the booty judge thing.
It was a Kamala Harris video. That was a huge thing. And then afterwards, the Trihex N-word thing, he basically tried to ambush me on that, and that was a really bad, set of conversations.
He wouldn't. Would he use the N-word or the hard R around you while he's talking about someone? No, because he understands that it's bad. Because it ultimately, no matter what, no matter how you use the term, ultimately it just implies that the person themselves are like a racist person.
And then, I mean, after that, it was kind of just over.
Pretty fucked at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
do you miss
debating
like
and
talking to them when they were more, I don't know, less partisan or whatever?
But I think at that point in my life, I didn't really talk to anybody like on a personal level. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Not really, no.
What were you doing?
Streaming.
Doesn't that f you up to not talk to anyone on a personal level?
Not really.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Do you know that's weird?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you know that is really weird?
I understand that, yeah.
So not talk to anyone on a personal level?
Not
Is there
that
something
much.
wrong with you?
I mean, it's just hard for people to relate to me. Like, what am I gonna talk about? Like, here's my streamer problems. It's just hard to, yeah. And then I don't value other people's feedback as much because I'm usually a little bit older than the other people, and a lot of my problems are like kind of unique. Like, am I gonna talk to Bosch or Hassan about like I had to move to another place because of like my kid's mom and me not getting along, or like it's just like all my problems are so
Okay,
unique.
when you
and
say you
weird.
didn't have any personal conversations, do you mean with streamers or just in general?
I mean, like I would usually be dating somebody, I would talk to them. Yeah.
Okay, so you did have personal conversations.
Yeah.
Well, your problems.
Yeah.
You're not a total psycho. Why did you
Yeah,
just,
I don't think I'm a
why did
total
you just say
psycho.
that?
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't have like friends that I would like talk to things about. So like, if I never dated Bosch or Hassan.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Okay.
well, there you go.
I
Yeah.
thought you had. Okay,
Nope.
that's good. The next few moments like that with drama, obviously the ones I remember are like Redacted. Shout out to Redacted. Lav, Mr. Girl. But a big one, a big one that I think is not talked about as much as I think it should be, is Bob 7. What the fuck happened with Bob 7?
basically, Bob7 was a guy who was getting really close to my partner at the time. And
He would, to be clear, he was a streamer. And
yeah.
he would go on the
mainly
Raj
worked
shows.
on like shows and stuff behind the scenes and was on other people's streams.
He went on the Raj show. He did like this sort of desperate incel character guy.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And he was pretty funny.
Yeah, he was super funny.
But he becomes friends with your, I guess now, ex-wife, Melina.
Yeah.
And that caused issues.
Basically, what I found out was that, if I can remember right, I found out that he was like shit-talking me a ton to a few people that were kind of close to me. That really bothered me. And then I think I reached out to a few other people to find out if he'd ever said anything, and I found out that he had. And then I got really paranoid. I was like, wait a second, how many people are like hearing really weird or negative things about me from this guy? And then I think I made like kind of like a probably inappropriate, thinly veiled threat or something. I think at the end of a stream, I said something and I was like, listen, Bob7, I know you're talking me, okay? Don't fucking throw stones in glass houses. I know you've done some weird shit, motherfucker. Don't talk shit about me, blah, blah, blah. It was some dumb shit like that. I said something like that. And for some reason, he challenged me on it. I don't know why people do this still, but he was like, oh, well, that's not true. You don't know anything about me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then we did that.
And then you dropped a giant video about him.
I guess.
5 hours long and nuked his career.
Maybe.
But it wasn't just Bob that was the problem. It was Mel.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A lot of it, yeah.
Not a little bit.
Yeah.
She was the problem. You can't expect this random guy, Bob, to do anything, but the expectation with your partner is she's not going to put you in positions that compromise
Probably,
you
yeah,
constantly.
for sure. 100%, yeah.
It's just like a crazy boundary. You have like no...
I think because of my upbringing, the way that I grew up, and the people in my life, I think I'd always been a very independent person. So I'm just kind of used to like having to do everything on my own. So I have a really hard time asking for things from other people or establishing boundaries with other people. So if people make really bad mistakes, I just try to think like, well, why did they do it? And how did I contribute to it? And can I change that? So I just like, will usually take it all on myself. And I think it was like a really dumb thing to do for a long time. Like at some point I should have been able to say like, hey, you probably shouldn't do this, or this is super unacceptable.
You never told her like, don't talk?
I mean, I kind of did, but
About
then
my
obviously
personal
it kept happening and I didn't do anything about it, so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what do you do other than break up or something?
Break up is what you probably should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that did happen now.
Yeah, got there eventually.
Yeah. 3 years later?
No, 0 kids later.
Yeah, I guess that's good.
0 houses later, so.
Was it in the cards to have a kid with her?
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, maybe eventually. I don't know.
Did she want to have kids?
I think she did, yeah.
I guess I'm glad that didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, well. I always said we had to go
Part of
1
me
year with
kinda
no serious
feels
fights before I'd have a kid.
bad
So.
for Dustin.
Well, that never happened. So
Good
could go
for
1
her.
week. A few years ago, one of your biggest things was you were having these like intellectual
not like he can-
debates on super taboo subjects. So, and they got you on a bunch of shit. I think.
Okay, so Destiny constantly talks about how he's not like super on or in any particular party. He doesn't take a political stance that precludes him from having his own opinions. However, in this situation, I think he does. Like, he's set himself up as this poly, open, nonchalant, like real, I don't care what people think or say or do or whatever, like they're their own people, do their own thing. And so if, say for example, if he was in a situation where he was seriously hurt by everything that happened with Mel, because of the persona that he's built, he's not able to express that. Now, whether or not he actually has those feelings, I don't know. But just the fact that even if he did, he really couldn't, I think really sucks for him anyway. Like, it sucks.
A bunch of the clips that came out from it. So one of the big ones was
But,
you talking
who
to
knows?
now
I
convicted
mean,
pedophile Amos Yee about child porn. He said something to the effect of like, if there was some kind of way to ethically distribute CP to pedophiles, then would you be okay with that? And you said something along the lines of like, yeah, I think I'd be okay with that if the people consented and there was no ethical quandary with that. But that got you in a bunch of shit.
Right, so you're pretty open to the position of child pornography.
Well, not like the mainstream like production of and recruiting children to create it.
I mean, if it's like if it involves coercion, then no. But I'm thinking that like perfectly consensual, sex, and the child agrees to having the footage posted online. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah. So
fine.
again, your argument here is like almost tautological, and that's why we keep disagreeing. You keep saying consensual child sex, and I don't. I think that's an oxymoron. I don't think everyone can consent to that.
And there's definitely other ones like the incest conversation, obviously.
How do I explain to my daughter incest is wrong? Is it actually wrong? I don't know. This is a crazy thing.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
Do you regret having these like super taboo conversations that, I mean, I guess it's interesting, but I don't know if it's even that productive.
I mean, I don't know, intellectually, there were like good ways to explore like early, because I was like a fledgling into philosophy and moral shit back then, and there were just like good ways to explore, I guess, like moral philosophy, like why is incest bad, or how do we feel about like age of consent or child porn or whatever, because these are the things that they sit at the borders of what can happen, and they really test the edge of like how strong are your like principles. Like if we say like is torture good or bad, if somebody tells you, would you ever defend torture principally? The most boring answer you can give a response to that is, well, I think that torture is bad because it doesn't produce good information. Well, what a stupid answer. Obviously, if it doesn't produce information that's good, then nobody would defend torture.
Yeah.
But that's not an interesting question. The interesting question is, there's a chemical weapon that's going to go off in New York City, probably kill 50,000 people. Would you torture a guy if you thought you could get the information from him? Now it's an interesting question, right? So things like pedophilia or incest are like at the edges of what we feel comfortable, or sometimes past what we feel comfortable with, and they help you explore questions that I think are really interesting. So that's why I would like deal with those topics, I guess, yeah.
Because you're trying to get into philosophy.
Yeah, it was just like a good way to like figure out like why is a thing good or why isn't a thing good. Like I remember there was a post on Reddit, the incest question came from, there was a post on Reddit, and there was somebody, it was in an Ask Relationships or something, or thread, and basically it was a dad that had made a post, and he said him and his wife were like very sexually open people, and they'd spoken with their children about like, their developmental milestones, like, oh, well, if you're gonna masturbate, like make sure that you're in your room and be appropriate and blah, 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 and they'd had like really open conversations about it. And apparently when the daughter was like of a certain age, I think she went to the dad and mom, and she said something along the lines of like, I don't know how to make myself orgasm when I masturbate, can you guys help me? And the father was like, I don't know how to tell her like, no, this is not appropriate, or like, I don't know what to do here. And I thought it was an interesting question, like, well, if you're, why would it be inappropriate?
Well, yeah,
Like, what are the
why is
actual
that
good
inappropriate?
answers to that beyond like, ick, that's like not good,
Yeah.
I guess, right? So those, and when you would pose these questions to people, they'd have a really hard time coming up with an answer. And I thought that was interesting. Apparently in philosophy it's called moral dumbfounding, where we have really strong moral intuitions around certain topics. Incest is one of them, but you can't produce like a rational argument for why it's not good. So that was like a big thing for the incest one. And then for the pedophile one, the interesting thing about Amosi was he was like making the rounds debating all these skeptic people about like age of consent. Like at the time, Amosi believed that there should be no age of consent. That you should be able to have sex with 1-year-olds as long as you're not like physically injuring them.
Why do you think that kids and babies aren't able to consent to sex?
Yeah, he did.
And the thing was, nobody had a good argument for why they couldn't. And I thought that was wild.
You mean like all the skeptic guys?
Yeah, none of them could argue like what it meant to have like informed consent.
Who did he debate before you?
It was so many of the skeptic people. I remember
I never saw those debates. I wanna
Maybe
see
and like
that,
Sargon, and I think
'cause that's
Rachel
fucking
Chen.
wild.
Isn't she
Lauren Chen.
Lauren Chen, maybe way
Like,
back then, when she was called Roaming Millennial.
Yeah, so are you saying their
What the
explanation just kind of came down
fuck?
to like, well, because it's wrong.
Yeah,
gross.
Blair White. Yeah, like all these people are like, oh, what's wrong, you? And they've never had like a good argument. Or they would say things like, oh, like they can't consent or whatever. But it's like, I mean, consent in what way? Because nobody ever like informed consent. So I was like, oh, I'll have a debate with this guy and argue about like informed consent and why they shouldn't be able to do it. And we have like a 2-hour debate. Well, I think I defend the concept of informed consent really well. But there's like a 3-minute segment where he asks me, if you could produce child porn that had already, or if you could have child porn that was already made, and older people, that were already, victimized, if they could consent to using that to rehabilitate pedophiles so they wouldn't rape kids anymore, would you be okay with that? I was like, I don't know. If there was actually research that backed that up, and if you could get accounts together and like gather it in an ethical way, I guess maybe. Sure. If it led to like less kid rape, and that like 3-minute clip was the only thing that anybody took from that whole conversation.
Basically what I hear is Destiny defends ethical CP.
Yeah, the ethical CP, like people like Brittany Venti and stuff like ran with that line for like 3 or 4 years, which is like the dumbest thing. It's like, okay.
Do you think that people have to know how to explain their viewpoints though to be right?
To be right? No, you can be right.
Maybe it has to be right. I don't know. Is there no like intrinsic, intuitive morality? Like, there are definitely things that I think are wrong that I probably couldn't explain that well.
Maybe, but it's good to understand why they're bad, I think. Especially because when it comes to things like age of consent and everything, like our world changed really radically over the past 30 years
Was not
in ways
expecting
that
it.
people are still to some extent like not ready for. So for instance, back when I was a kid, for a 25-year-old and a 15-year-old, there's not really, you don't have to have much understanding of why it's wrong for those two people to be fucking, because why the fuck is a 25-year-old even talking to a 15-year-old? There's just like not really many environments where that would happen. You don't go to school together. Depending on the jobs you're at, like kids work kid jobs, like you're not usually like super age mixed like that. And then like parties and hangouts and stuff, like if you went to hang out with your friends, you're not gonna be 25-year-olds there hanging out with like juniors or sophomores in high school. It just didn't happen. So like those age of consent questions, like why is it wrong or bad, didn't really come up that much. Like you'd have like college guys like hitting on, you know, like high school girls and shit. But then when the internet started to become more popular, especially with games, you know, first it was like chat rooms like Yahoo Chess and AOL and shit, then it was like games. Well, now you actually have all of these environments where you've got like 14, 15, 16-year-old girls talking to guys in their late 20s, early 30s, 40s, or whatever. And now it's like super normal. Like a 25-year-old guy might be in a raid team with like a 13-year-old girl. That might, like, there's nothing wrong or inappropriate, but that might just happen. And because we'd like taken for granted things like age of consent or whatever, and you don't really have good ways to defend it, and because people don't have those as strong intuitive feelings as people think they do, people think that, like, obviously a 25-year-old will never hit on a 15-year-old, but there were so many social barriers to those two people even interacting in like a friendly way. When you remove all those social barriers, those intuitive feelings aren't as strong as people think they are. Like if you start chatting with some person online, you barely even register their age until you like see them in real life or see pictures or whatever. So yeah, so I just thought it was interesting. Like, oh yeah, like what are the arguments? Like I'm not saying that, you know, if somebody comes up to you and they're like, I need you to give me a 32-point essay right now on why I shouldn't rape this like hungover girl or drunk girl, otherwise I'm gonna do it. Like,
do you think there's no like, I guess like intrinsic morality? You think it's all like developed society?
I think we have really strong intuitive moral feelings, and I think that for like 98% of people, those are all gonna line up like pretty well, unless there's like something broken in your brain.
They're gonna line up pretty well with what everyone else agrees with.
For the most part,
But is that because of society, or is that because like we're born with some? Like I feel like I have some innate morality besides like societal consequences. Like ooh.
It's so one thing that's like kind of frustrating is when you start digging more into like whether you're talking like evolutionary psychology or evolutionary biology or any of these things, or psychology or any of these things in general, is when you grow up, a lot of things you learn is like nature versus nurture, right? Like nature is like your environment, nature is like your genetic predisposition and nurture is like your environment. But I think as you study these things in more depth, you realize that these things are constantly intertwined with each other. It's basically impossible to separate the two in a lot of circumstances. So when somebody says like, well, do we have a strong like biological inclination towards something, or is it just society? That's a weird question, because society literally comes from our biology, right? Like the human biology produces the society we live in. So is it true that a lot of your morals can be like socially driven? Yeah, but a lot of those socially driven morals come from biologically created people. So there's like a complicated interplay there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That
Yeah,
makes
okay,
sense.
yeah. So yeah, like I think we do have like an internal sense intuitively, like seeing things like cry and scream when they're being tortured feels really bad and wrong.
Yeah.
And socially, that's going to be reflected. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, that does make sense. I guess, do you still find it frustrating, or did you at the time, that nobody could seem to explain their viewpoint?
The only thing I found it frustrating is when people couldn't explain their viewpoint and then they condemned me for even exploring the questions, or when they couldn't explain their viewpoint but were like very haughty and smug, telling other people they were stupid for believing different things. Basically, it was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, these guys call themselves the skeptic community. Like, how can you be the skeptic community? You're not even willing to debate incest. Come on.
Skeptical on fucking
fuck.
kids.
There was early internet edgy atheists that ran out of things.
That seems to be kind of where I think the idea of that stuff is kind of where like the debate pervert thing came from. I mean, obviously Hassan popularized it, but debate bro, debate pervert, like the idea of some fucking guy on YouTube just exploring inane questions that aren't productive to anyone.
Kind of, where the issue was a lot of it was masking like what they wanted. Like, to be fair, like if a guy comes up and he's like, well, actually, I think the age of consent should be 13. It's probably because a 13-year-old really wants to fuck. Like, more often than not on the internet, like the people that are debating age of consent or like hardcore like anti-age of consent people that ended up like wanting to look at child butt kids or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay.
I don't know. Do you think your content is additive to the world? Do you think you're like doing a good thing or
Add something to the
doing
world.
a service?
I hope so. Yeah. I think the ideas that I think are like better than the ideas that I argue against. So more people believe it. I hope it's good.
Is that like helping the world, like pushing against the tide when there's so much? I mean, there's so much shit out there.
I hope so. I mean, I'm getting bigger. Dan, I'm trying. Okay. Jeez.
It's just so insurmountable, doesn't it
It's
feel
not
like?
insurmountable. It's mountable. It's just there's a lot to mount. Okay.
Doesn't it feel like a crushing weight?
No. It did before, but now that I'm getting bigger every day.
When did it feel?
I'll
Like,
be
when did
the-
it feel like a crushing weight?
No, I mean, like, it always kind of does, but, like,
Back
I think
when
it's
your
good to,
mom
like,
was
keep an eye
fat.
out for the changes that you make. Like, I've got a community
Listen
of
to
people.
all
I'm
of
happy
you.
when I see them believe things that I think are important. I'm happy when I care for those arguments to other people. I'm happy when I see other people quoting my arguments or things that I've made. Like, all of those things feel good. And hopefully as I get bigger and argue against bigger people, you know, other people like, oh, you know, maybe this thing is true or whatever.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
It seems like you know, are self-actuating and are happy with the progress you've made.
I
That's
try to
nice
be,
to
yeah.
hear. Okay, well I think the really last thing that we need to talk about. You okay?
Oh, yeah.
We're still having sex after. Okay. The real thing I want to talk about.
The real thing.
The real thing. I'm gonna put my feet on this hotel couch. Is your relationships.
Yeah? With your mom? All of them?
There's just one.
Oh, she has DID, so, you know, I date all 7 of her
alters?
personalities. Yeah.
Okay, that's cute. Do you like the sunflower one? Or do you like the M&M one better?
The issue is she switches between these two like pretty frequently sometimes,
can't
and it's really weird
do
because
this.
the
I can't
M&M
fucking
one
do
really
this.
likes anal, but the sunflower one hates it. So it sucks when I'm like balls deep in the M&M one's ass,
Then it's like
and
you're
then she
raping me.
switches alters, and she's like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing?" And you got there's like the spot on the back of her head that if I tap it really hard, she'll switch back to the M&M one. But obviously after a while, it was like really fucked up. It's like beating the shit out of her to get her to like take my dick in her ass. So
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
usually the way I have to do it anyway.
Really?
Without DID.
oh shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe that was just from hitting her too much.
No, not
Maybe
with
she
my
doesn't
mom.
actually have. Oh,
With
never mind.
yours.
Oh my.
Big girl.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, she
Yeah,
doesn't
anyway.
have DID. She did forget though.
She had a
Anyway.
good one, yeah.
Okay.
Your mom never forgets.
Okay.
That was fun.
You have like maladaptive.
That's a word. Uh-huh.
Tendencies
Yeah,
in your
judge me
relationship.
harder, yeah.
You do.
Okay.
You do.
Okay.
You hang out with crazy people all the time.
Yeah, 'cause
She's
they're
nodding.
entertaining
She
and
knows.
funny as
But it like can like fuck you.
No, it hasn't.
What do you mean it hasn't?
I've come out of all these situations stronger, faster, better.
I mean,
smarter.
yes, you
Yeah,
come out,
I
but
do.
wouldn't you rather just avoid that entirely?
No.
Why not?
People say these things. Here's the thing.
Like I would rather.
Here's my
avoid-
responsibility as a content creator. What I have to do is not only do I have to understand what's good content, I have to figure out what you want, and you don't know what you want. Okay? You don't know what you want. People like this will say, like, "Oh yeah, that's not healthy." They only know me because
Okay,
of those
I know
things.
what I want.
They only know me because they watched those arcs. They're like, "This is really bad for you." By the way, I've watched every single Mr. Girl video. Or this is the worst stuff ever, and I want to talk to you about the 482 hours of Anna content that I've seen on your stream. And I can't believe you hang out with these girls. Let me give you my opinion on the 482 different tweets that Lav has made about you, right? So people say they don't like it and that it's bad,
Okay,
but they love it.
I
They
love it.
People love it. Thank
To
you.
clarify,
Thank you
to
for
clarify,
admitting it. Yes.
I love it,
Good.
and I make videos about it, and I make
Yeah.
money off of it. But is that like good for you?
Yeah, it's good content. It's entertaining as fuck.
Is that all there is? Content?
It's like, you ever see the anime Death Note?
Yeah.
Imagine living your life like that. Why would you not want to? You got this other guy trying to destroy your life, okay, writing big articles.
Because it's like stressful, and then in the end he goes crazy and dies.
Well, I haven't gotten to season 2 yet, okay? Don't spoil it, okay? I just finished the episode where he kills L. That's where I'm at. That was my Mr. Girl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He finishes writing his 150,000.
My life is kind of like Death
And then
Note.
I don't die, but he does.
my-
so that's like, yeah.
My
you know?
life is kind of like Death Note, if
Yeah.
Death Note was real.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, except instead of writing Death Notes, I write manifestos.
But it doesn't.
It's fun,
Yeah, I
right?
have
You gotta
those- I have
admit,
those
right?
songs.
Working on these like papers and you're
No,
trying
it's
to, like,
fun, it's
you're like
fun.
trying to source out all the video stuff, and it's like, can I support this argument? Like, oh, because somebody dig through files, and we've got like all these like secretly recorded conversations, and it's like, it's the right thing here to like justify it, and blah blah blah. You put it together, and then you present it. Does it take? Do the people believe you? Do they believe the other guy? Is he gonna have a response that's gonna like totally own your response? Is it gonna
Motherfuck,
take
what
him
the
like
hell is
months to think
this?
anything up? Like, are they gonna have like some shit you
Do
don't
you
know
see
about?
this
Is
shit
there gonna be
I just
recorded writing
dug?
it? Did you collect enough
I
evidence?
just
Did you
dug
present it in a
all
compelling
that
way?
out,
Did you write it
and I pop
entertaining enough?
out.
Like, there's like so much shit that you gotta like factor in. Like, is it concise enough? Do you have like enough
And
information to
of
prove a point? Like, I don't know, I think it's all like really exciting.
Look
'cause,
at that
yeah,
staircase.
It is exciting, but isn't it like
All the
do you
way
just have like
up.
a total
Done it.
emotional disconnect from what
Been
you do?
there.
I think
done
it's
that.
super emotional. It's like your like life is on the line. Because
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that fucking stressful?
Yeah, but
Doesn't
the
it make you
stress is like
crazy?
driving you forward. Do you think Formula One drivers get stressed?
No, of course they
Exactly.
get stressed.
But do you think they'd stop driving because of the stress? No. I bet it pushes them forward. To the next
I
manifesto.
guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? If I tell you I'm gonna be home by 5, yes, it does, you dumb. It ended up not being
First
true.
of all, don't talk to me like that.
Okay, then stop.
Don't call
Hold
me
on,
a
stop,
dumb
stop. You're actually triggering the fuck out of me.
You just had so many falling outs. Like I've had like 3 falling outs with people in my life, and it's like I wasn't like crying over it, but I was like, F this like sucks. This kind of hurts.
Yeah, grow your hair out.
Yeah. Listen to My Chemical Romance.
Sorry.
Are you just like numb to that?
My expectations for people are very low, so it's like, yeah.
Grow your hair out, you fucking dick. I'm gonna kill you.
My expectations are very low for people.
Why?
I don't know, because it's my life.
Can you just find better people?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have really good content.
I guess.
Look, like this past year and a half, I've done a really good job at like keeping people at appropriate distances, making like good relationships. Like all of my drama for the past year and a half has been from like holdovers from my past. But like, where has that gotten us? This has been the most drama-free year for the past year and a half. Boring.
I mean, I found it good. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that's
but like,
that's because I started coming on that stream.
Imagine if I could have done like the Mr. Girl in Lab shit while I was single. Do you know how much more crazy I could have let that get to without like a partner that was like getting stressed out and shit all the time? That could have been wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most viewed thing probably you did this year in one arc consecutively was probably Melina.
Probably.
The first day you did
divorce,
it.
yeah.
500k views.
True.
500k views, 600k, like just blow up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's what people like from you, I guess.
Sure.
Doesn't it bother you that maybe just even a little bit that your audience seems more interested in watching your life fall apart than watching the political stuff?
I mean, everybody likes drama. It's dramatic. It's like relatable on a human
Holy
level.
shit, is this the same? Yeah, this is the one.
It's
Okay.
like, it's like interpersonal conflict. It's like the
No,
I
I know.
okay.
I understand that. I understand that's the concept. It's my
This is
life.
the third
Like,
time.
you're in it. Like I would not opt.
This is my third time digging up
everything passes
to this
or you die.
level.
I haven't died yet, so you get over it, right?
Okay, well, I didn't.
Ideally, but
Oh,
not
shit.
everyone makes that
I didn't dig
drama.
up to the level
I have so far.
over there, though.
5 times.
I mean, most people. Some people get their careers and shit destroyed over it. You know.
Well, just don't do weird shit, and that won't happen.
Okay, you haven't done any weird shit.
Not that you know of.
I just feel like you should be more f***ed up from all this stuff. I don't know, from all these people just having falling outs with you that you knew.
What do you want me to say? You want me to cry for you? Do you want me to
I
have
don't know,
you got to be a
maybe-
big moment right here? Your Dr. K moment?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Maybe I just want you to like.
Yeah. I have really low expectations of people. I think like
You just
people,
want you to like get sad for a day.
people go crazy.
Take
and
a day
then-
off streaming to be sad.
Okay, I'll try that.
We're at the gym, you'll be crying.
Yeah, we will be.
On the bench press.
You're gonna load up 265, and you're gonna be here, and I'm gonna be spotting you, and then on your way down, I'm gonna be like, I miss her, bro, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, oh shit,
I miss her, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be. I mean, at least I'll show some humanity when I get my windpipe crushed.
Maybe, yeah.
It'd be good.
But now it was time to go back to Miami.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from InfoWars. We're in Miami, Florida today. I didn't expect this, but I feel a presence. Presence of beautiful Jewish power.
Where Steve lives, and where he would be debating Benjamin Aaron Shapiro. Easily one of the most famous conservatives in the country, the host of the Daily Wire, and now a rapper, apparently, too.
A picture of a pentagon, a hexagon, octagon, and then Obama is gone. And a picture. Okay, that was epic.
Given that Destiny was about to have the most impactful debate of his career, I knew he needed to get in tip-top shape because, let's be honest, this guy's been gaming too much, and he hasn't been gaining nearly enough. So I decided to take him to the gym to get him in an alpha
Speaking of
male
gaming,
mindset so he
anyway.
could completely crush his
Time to
opponent.
lift.
That being said, he didn't seem to enjoy the gym very much at all.
He's constantly on his fucking.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for my Ben Shapiro debate in 2 days, okay?
That's not a big deal. The way you're actually going to get ready for this debate, Steven, is by working out, by
I agree.
act.
I'm here with the greatest soy boy of all time, teaching him how to be an alpha male. We're gonna get a little testosterone
Can't
in this
wait.
guy's
Yeah.
veins. Maybe that way his wife will be with him instead of meme tips.
Yeah, get this on camera. Here we go.
First exercise we're gonna
Oh,
learn.
you wanted-
Oh my god.
Okay.
Look at you go.
Now, Steven, I think you're gonna have excellent form.
Yeah?
Dexterity.
Oh my
You
god.
need to push all the estrogen out of your belly. Did you go? So you can do this, okay? Women will finally be clamoring for you in your Instagram DMs.
Finally.
Something that never happens.
That's what I need. There you go.
Hey, let's see you do this. Come on.
I'm good. I think I'm
Steven.
getting a pump from over here.
We're gonna be working out. No, I'm just showing you proper form. We got the 5 boundaries just for you.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can't do it? No, come on, Steven. I believe in you. He's so strong.
Wait a minute. 2 reps? That's good, right?
Yeah, 2. Exactly.
Is there a reason why you don't go all the way? You just go like halfway up?
There's no particular reason to go up here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You see how vascular I am right now, Steve?
Oh my god, look at that vascularity.
Let's go. Up to over your shoulder.
Look at that
directly,
vascularity.
and go up. And when you go down to 90 degrees.
Only 90?
Yeah, you don't have to go all the way down.
What about like want to work out like my entire muscle though?
Bad for you. You're gonna tear something.
Bad for
You're
you.
gonna be able to stream or jerk off. He's really passionate about weightlifting. You never expected him to be so into exercise. It seems like genetically he's an alpha, but his lifestyle is that of a beta.
Oh my god, look at him go. Oh my god, look at him go, look at him go. Are you getting this? Zoom in on that vascularity. You're a warrior, dude.
Do you think you'd be happier if you weightlifted?
Yeah, I was, like 4 months ago.
No, you're not done. Come on.
How many do I
10.
need?
You need 4 more.
10 of these?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
What do you mean, oh my god? Oh my god. Oh, he's getting so big. Imagine how much good I would do for the world if I just threw this at your head.
Yeah, really?
Imagine.
I don't think I can bench this anymore, dude.
No, you can. If you can't, I'll make sure that it falls to crush your windpipe.
Yeah.
So we good.
Hey, don't stand
Don't
so
be a
close.
fucking pusher, Destiny.
Oh my god, this is so heavy for me now.
No, it's not, dude. You got it.
It is.
You're good.
I'm not good.
Dude, you're... Yes. Yep. There you go.
Don't get you put you get. I need you to just get the fuck away from me.
Okay.
I need you to get the fuck away from me.
4. 5 is melt time.
I need you, dude. You hold on.
You
Stop.
want
like
help?
you need to no. I need you to get the fuck away from me.
Okay, Jesus. I thought you were gonna drop it on your neck. I'm trying
I'm
to
not gonna
save
drop
you.
the bar. This is the kind of spotter that would make me. When I was actually at the gym, I would have killed this motherfucker. Do you know what we call these guys at the gym? We call them Gaines Goblins. Okay, Gaines Goblins. Because when you're working on your last rep, these are the guys who are like all of your muscle fibers are, you're stretched, you're pushing as hard as you can. And he comes like, oh, let me help you with that. And he just steals the last rep from you completely. Super hyped for today, because it's the first day. He's gonna put up 225 by 5 on the bench. All of us are like really excited for it.
You ready to spot me?
225,
Make
right?
sure your balls are right above my eyes.
Yeah, they're good. Oh, if you want like extra activation for your lower chest right here, when you wrap your thumbs over, do it like this. Okay? No. Like that. There you go.
I'm not doing that.
Gets your lower chest like way more involved.
I'm gonna drop it.
Have you ever thought about for this lift breathing while you do it?
No.
Or do you like to hold your breath through the entire thing?
I like to hold it in.
Yeah? Oh my god.
Those twitch muscle fibers.
Yeah.
Begging for oxygen.
How many reps of these would it take to make your head explode if you're holding your breath the whole time? Wait, did you see his tomato face when he was at the last rep of this?
I think one more that I did would make me fucking pop.
Okay. Wait, what do you normally bench at the end of this when you're all...
The most I could do is like 190 or 200.
How many reps?
Like 4.
Oh, okay.
Can I do more than that? Time for another set?
No, I'm good, I think.
You're not good?
Everybody worked out.
You'll be good after another set.
Yeah, 105 is like exhausting.
No,
I'm
you can
weak.
do it,
I lost
dude.
everything. I have no muscles anymore.
You're not
They're all gone.
You're gonna get them.
Okay, I need you to stand over there, okay? you trigger the fuck out of me, all right?
Okay. Everybody start filming and make fun of him.
Okay, if I need help, it's only when the bar is going down, okay? If it goes up like this, don't do it.
You look like you're
okay?
struggling.
If it stops, don't do it.
Okay.
If it goes down, then you can help.
Okay, fucking do it.
Don't touch
I
me
won't save
otherwise.
you.
If you touch me, I'm gonna start screaming racial slurs.
Wait.
All right?
Jacks the knee.
The same way on both sides, right?
Yeah.
You're not fucking with me, are you?
No. Yes.
Fuck, I'm so weak, dude. I can't. Oh, I can't. I'm a
You
child.
could've done
I'm a
one
baby.
more.
I'm a baby. I can't do it. This is heavy.
You're getting so jacked.
It's 105.
I was impressed, dude.
No, it's not impressive.
You're giant, dude. You're huge. You're a beast. You're a god amongst
I'm
men.
gonna kill myself.
If you were just as
And
jacked
then
as
the
Cesaro,
Ben Shapiro debate's not gonna happen.
well, the right will win.
Oh, you should try breathing also when you do this, you know? But
Okay, if you think so.
Yeah.
If that's what you really think will work.
Yeah, try it. See what happens. See how it goes.
There's 245s and a 10.
It's a 155.
No.
No, you're doing one more? Okay, you got it. Push, 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 push. I'm not even touching it. Good job. Fuck. My God. You're a beast.
Girlfriend's
Actual
home.
monster.
You're already taking them off.
You're done, right?
You're so excited to
That's
leave.
it.
Yeah, get me the fuck out of here.
I'm out.
You know, no. I'm only gonna be with you for one more lift.
Yeah,
so
this is the
I
last
get
thing.
to choose.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for hanging out. Nobody that showed, but everybody that cared. Apparently I had 2 views. Oh, so nice. All right, guys.